This is such a treat for me. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brendan Gleeson.
Thanks a lot.
This is such a great film, this one.
Oh, good.
It's so wonderfully granted. How much did you know about Newfoundland before you did this?
Not a lot. I knew from home, from particularly traditional musicians who used to come over to Newfoundland from Ireland to play, that there was an extraordinary kind of affinity between the two places and the two people. So I was always fascinated to go, but I hadn't been.
And you got to work with some of the great Newfoundland and Labradorian performers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, Mark Rich was my first port of call because I saw his YouTube clip where he kind of was poking a little bit of fun about the Newfoundland accent. I mean, not in a bad way, but it was hilarious. But also had a kind of he obviously had a very great love of his own culture. So when we were thinking about the movie, I thought about him in terms of where we wanted to go with it. In other words, that you really respect the culture, but you have a laugh along the way. So,
you have to.
Yeah.
And Gordon Pinson does that perfectly with
Gordon Pinson is a national treasure. I've never had to beat off so many women as when I was with Gordon Pinson. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to take care of him, and God knows what else. But we had such a lot of fun with kind of Three Amigos, and just generally the people in Newfoundland were extraordinarily sort of warm and all that. But really smart as well in terms of what we needed to do. We had a tough schedule and we'd all got done.
What's so wonderful about the film is that it's, essentially it's this town trying to bring business and jobs back, but it's about, and your character talks a lot about, it's dignity.
Yeah.
A sense of purpose. And that's what people, I think, sometimes miss. That's what's really going on in some of the smaller towns around the country.
Yes, yeah, no, there's
Ireland as well, right?
Well, everywhere. It's getting more and more difficult to hold on to what's valuable, and change must happen. Everybody knows that, and one of the things that's refreshing about the film, I think, is the idea that things will alter and things will be new in order for them to survive, but that there are things, within all of these incredible cultures that it's crazy to miss them. It's crazy to miss them and just to look around and suddenly they're gone, And I mean, Newfoundland made a huge impression on me in that regard. It's somewhere I really want to get back to.
This is where I first cued into what you were doing. Let's go back and look at this clip for a sec.
You wouldn't want to be listening to that fella. I only told you because I don't know why I told you, really. You were right. It's pathetic. A grown man talking like that. Exactly. Just because she's broke the pole. Exactly. It's stupid.
Beautiful.
Where did you get that?
I saw that in the theater, man.
Oh, well. Do you know who was on the plane coming over here last night? I mean, that's extraordinary. Stephen Frears, who directed that film, I was talking to him for the first time in about 10 years on the plane coming over here last night. That's bizarre.
That's so bizarre. Have you seen that in a while?
Not in a long time, no. It's a snapper. It was a Roddy Doyle film directed by Stephen Frears, and this was about an older man who had made Colin Meaning's character daughter pregnant, and he had been bad-mouthing his daughter. So that's what that was all about. That's great. Thanks for that. I haven't seen that in a long time.
No, it's such a great film. And then on this show, we talked about our favorite film of the year when it came out was The Guard. The Guard was the best film that had come out in that. Nice. International criminals with existential crisis, cops that would take drugs just to get high, but also to protect the dead kid that opened. Like, it's the most bizarre journey, that film, The Guard. If you haven't seen it, you please see the film. But what was that experience like for you?
It was brilliant because John Michael McDonagh, we worked, we tossed it, but he basically, that was a gift of a script. It came complete, and you open it up, and I knew then from the longer you're saying, I hope nothing happens to make this any worse. I hope nothing happens that make this impossible to do. And it just got better and better and better.
Take a look at this. Wild.
Thanks for coming. I've just realised today is the best day of my life.
backgammon program. So that's when Harry met Bob, the film, right? And that's the Live Aid moment, obviously, when the Boomtown Rats took the stage. That is not Bob Geldof. That is...
Donald Gleeson.
It's your son?
It's my son, yeah. That's kind of bizarre as well. This is kind of a little bit... There's something very, very unsettling about you. Last night, Donald, my son, who's an actor, obviously, was on the Late Late Show. And guess who was on the Late Late Show with him in Ireland?
Who?
Bob Geldof.
Oh, well, come on.
This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But he's...
Or we just know something?
You know something I don't, that's for sure. I don't know, I think you should put on some vestments at this stage.
That part of my story will... If I put those on, sir, they will... Flames. They become engulfed.
Maybe not.
Are you emotional when you watch your kids' films?
A little bit. Donald just did About Time, the Richard Curtis film, which has a section at the end which is about fatherhood. Himself and Bill Nighy are exquisite, I have to say it. And I found it really profoundly emotional. I have to say it.
If I put a fiddle in your hand, would you play something?
Oh, Jesus.
Something.
Excuse my language. Yeah. This is something you need where there's no rosin on the bow, you see, and you can put a little...
Oh, look.
little thing over the top. I got caught. Well, OK. Sorry. I can't remember it. I was going to play this Newfoundland tune. Hang on a second.
Gleeson, everybody. The film's called The Grand Seduction. You gotta see it. We'll be right back.